Spice Racing, a name that is synonymous with motor racing in Europe and in particular in recent years with big saloon car racing. Gordon Spice Racing is once again contesting the Tricentral British Saloon Car Championship. In addition to Gordon Spice himself, the team boasts another first-class saloon car racer, Andy Rouse. The first round of the 1980 Tricentral Championship is at Mallory Park, where already the 3-minute board has gone and the cars are lined up on the grid. Today at Mallory Park, we welcome back to motor racing British Leyland, and there is its representative, the new Rover 3.5 litre car, sponsored by Esso and Triplex Glass. Before the race begins, Gordon Spice is in pole position. Alongside him is Vince Woodman, and alongside him Andy Rouse in the second Gordon Spice racing car. It's a 25-lap race, and the cars are waiting now for the signal from red to green to signal the start of this race. The engine revs are increasing as they wait for the start of the race, and there they go. Gordon Spice gets a very good start. Andy Rouse is going with him, but so is Vince Woodman. And as they go down under the Shell Bridge towards Gerrard's for the first time, there's a huge cloud of smoke. Somebody, it would appear, has blown up right at the beginning of the race. Very unlucky for someone as the cars turn through the very fast right-hander at Gerrard's. At the end of lap 1, it's Gordon Spice leading from Vince Woodman and Andy Rouse in third place. There is one of the Rovers going through. I believe that is Rex Greenslade, because there is Jeff Allam. And it was Jeff Allam who is out of the race now. His Rover 3.5 litre car out at the end of the first lap. Gordon Spice goes through in the lead, Vince Woodman second, Andy Rouse in third. These three Capris beginning to get away from the rest of the field. Spice sailing down, step straight down through the S's and up towards the hairpin at Mallory Park. Down through Devil's Elbow, and see how close his teammate now, Andy Rouse, is closing up with the leader, Gordon Spice. Woodman is third, and there is Rex Greenslade going through in fifth place in the Rover 3.5 litre V8 engine car. Now, once again, back with the leaders, and it's Gordon Spice, but see how close Andy Rouse is with him as they go through the left-hander onto the start line straight. And there in third place, Vince Woodman, also in a Capri. The two leaders still very close together as they come through the S's. Rouse driving very hard to close up with race leader Gordon Spice. And as they come through Devil's Elbow this time, they're very close together. Barely 1 length between them as they go across the start-finish line once more. Down towards Gerrard's, and now a long step straight down into the S's, and Rouse is absolutely there, trying very hard to get through. Lots of opposite lock being applied by Andy Rouse as he really pressurizes Gordon Spice. Down through the left-hander once more. It's still just Gordon Spice leading from Andy Rouse. Spice manages to find about 1.5 lengths, but this is a tremendous battle between the two. There is Rex Greenslade, followed by one of the Capris. And then the Mazda RX-7, but back with the leaders. And who is it this time? Is it Gordon Spice or is it Andy Rouse? It's still Gordon Spice leading as they go up to the hairpin. Through the S's goes the 3.5 litre Rover, now behind Graham Good's Capri. And as they come through Devil's Elbow, it looks as though Andy Rouse has moved into the lead in his Capri. This is obviously not a team race. They're not racing to orders. And Andy Rouse has moved into the lead ahead of Gordon Spice, and still they're battling it out very intensely through the S's, going up to the hairpin, but it's still Andy Rouse leading, and coming up to take the checkered flag, Andy Rouse from Gordon Spice in second place, and Vince Woodman in third.
Because we had an agreement before that the best man could win, so I mean that was very fair.
But it's ribald laughter from Barry Williams. But Andy, not only did you win the race, but you also established a new lap record, so that gives you an additional point. And I think that the whole question of the championship now comes into question, doesn't it? Because if it's no holds barred in the Gordon Spice team, then it could cost you the championship in theory, couldn't it?
Well, maybe it will, but it'll be an interesting situation that's going to develop during the season.
What's the car like?
Very good, yeah, very pleased actually. It's a superb car.
Well, there's the evidence of the ferocity of the encounter between Gordon Spice and Andy Rouse. At Mallory Park, it's necessary to split the field by classes and to run 2 races for the championship. In the second race for cars up to 1600 cc's, a piece of motor racing history is about to unfold, as Sterling Moss returns to motor racing. Driving the Akai Audi 80, Sterling is making his return at a circuit at which he has never raced before. Let's talk to Mr. Moss to see how he views his comeback.
Sterling, there's a dickens of a din going on, but there are an awful lot of people, including television audiences and the spectators here at Mallory Park, who want to know how you feel on your return to motor racing.
I can tell you a lot better in about 20 minutes' time. I feel physically very well. We've had a problem this morning, as probably you heard, that I had qualified on a flat tyre without knowing it was flat, which is pretty dumb. And then I had a stone or something went in the manifold and messed up a valve, and so we had to fly out, get a new head, bring it in, put it together, and they've got it running. The mechanics did a fantastic job. How I'm going to work out against these guys, I don't know.
Sterling, I'm sure a lot of people want to know, why the hell are you doing it?
I don't know, I was going to ask you actually. I'm doing it because motor racing to me was my hobby. I love racing. I'm hoping that in this type of racing that I shall find the pleasure I used to get. Now, I don't know yet whether I will, it's too early to know, but hopefully that I will be able to enjoy the exhilaration of driving, and I'll get the same sort of fun that I had, you know, racing.
How much training have you been doing for this?
I've done about 250 miles in the car, which is not nearly enough, but I go to the gym. I go to the Grosvenor House gym every day, and well, I haven't this last week, I've been away, but keep as fit as I can.
Sterling, do you think that there's any reason why at the ripe old or young age of 50 you shouldn't be back in peak condition?
I don't think 50's got anything to do with it at all on short races like this. I really don't. I think that my age is the least concern that I have. My biggest concern is the fact that I have never had the experience of driving a front-wheel drive car like the Akai Audi with these fantastic slicks on it. I just don't know. My threshold of fear has come a lot closer. And when I go down the straight here and come in that corner, it doesn't half look sharp. And every time I get out the other end, I think, well, it was faster than that. And when I come around again, somebody's made it sharper.
How much experience of Mallory have you had?
Oh, nothing. I've never raced here. I've driven a few laps here, but I've never raced here. It's a cute little circuit, and everybody's very nice. There seem to be an awful lot of people around today. I hope some of them paid. Everybody seems to be press, and I hope it's successful. I hope that the fact that I'm driving, I hope will make people interested in it, because if people follow me, then I'm very grateful for that.
I'm sure that everybody here at Mallory Park and the thousands watching on television will be hoping that the old Sterling Moss will be seen at the wheel, driving with the same verve and dash and style that we remember from days of yore, and let's hope that everybody will be wishing you the best of luck in this race this afternoon.
Well, thank you very much. I can assure you there's nobody who has more need to know what's going to happen than myself, and I'm sitting here with very mixed feelings. I'm doing a stupid thing, really. I know that, but I love racing. I love the sort of people in it and the atmosphere and the whole lot, and I just hope that it is as good as I think it was when I left.
A disastrous practice session means that Sterling Moss will be starting the race from the third row of the grid. Chris Hodgetts is in pole position in a Toyota Celica. Alongside him is John Morris in a VW Sirocco, but all eyes are on Sterling Moss as the cars get away from the start. Hodgetts has a very good start, but Moss is already moving up as they move towards Gerrard's for the first time. At the end of the first lap, Hodgetts is pulling into the pits, and so Morris inherits the lead, and there is Moss in 6th place as they complete the first lap. Moss beginning to move up through the field, making up for a poor start. There he is ahead now of Richard Longman, having overtaken him at Shaw's at the hairpin, and they had a slight coming together, and there is the bumper trailing from Sterling Moss's car. He moves round through Gerrard's and down the back straight, opening up a gap over Richard Longman. Moss is now in 4th place, and he moves up ahead of John Mowat to take 3rd place at the end of the 2nd lap. On to lap 3 goes Sterling Moss, down into the fast right-hander at Gerrard's. But drama overtakes him. There is Moss on the back straight, stationary, getting out of his car to see if he can put the problem right. It subsequently transpires that his throttle linkage has broken. But he's shown that the old style is still there. The second round of the 10-round series is at Alton Park on Good Friday, and following their great success at Mallory Park, Gordon Spice Racing are hoping to repeat their 1-2 victory. They're in pole position in the middle of the front row. Alongside them is Vince Woodman as the cars get away to a clean start at the beginning of this race. Through the first right-hander at Old Hall, and it's Gordon Spice leading Andy Rouse with Vince Woodman in 3rd place and Stuart Graham in 4th as they go down the avenue and through the Cascades, the left-hander, down into the right-hander at Foster's. Gordon Spice leads from Andy Rouse. There in 3rd place is Vince Woodman, 3 Capris, in fact 4 Capris, because Stuart Graham is there in 4th place. Through Knickerbrook, up over Clay Hill go the cars, and at the end of lap 1 it's still Gordon Spice leading from Andy Rouse, Vince Woodman in 3rd place, then Stuart Graham in 4th, and the first of the Rover 3.5 litres, it's Jeff Allam in 5th place from Graham Good in 6th place. The two Gordon Spice Racing Capris come through Knickerbrook once more, absolutely nose to tail. There's an intense competition going on between these two drivers, despite the fact that they come from the same team. Gordon Spice leading through Old Hall once more, leading Andy Rouse, using a lot of opposite lock there to get it through the right-hander, and there'll be no holds barred between these two. Gordon Spice will have to call upon all his vast experience of motor racing in order to win this race. Through Old Hall, Spice using all the road on the exit to stay ahead of Andy Rouse. There is Rex Greenslade in 6th place in the 3.5 litre Rover. Look how much opposite lock he's using to control the car through the corner. Spice again and Rouse, they really are very close together, an intense competition, and here Andy Rouse looks as though he's going to try and go through on the inside. He does, he's on the inside at Old Hall, always a difficult manoeuvre, and so it's a tremendous battle between the Gordon Spice Racing Capris. Down into Knickerbrook once more. Spice is right in behind Andy Rouse, he's not going to let this one go. But it's Rouse who leads through Knickerbrook and up over Clay Hill once more as he's just ahead of his teammate Gordon Spice. Across the line once more. Which of the two Gordon Spice Capris is it this time? It's Gordon Spice back into the lead, just ahead of Andy Rouse. Graham Good comes through in 4th place, just ahead of Jeff Allen in 5th in the 3.5 litre Rover. The spectators enjoying this magnificent racing as Gordon Spice, once again leading, goes through Old Hall, still only half a car's length ahead of Andy Rouse, and you can see Rouse diving down on the inside. There is Rex Greenslade, still in 6th place in the Triple-X class Rover 3.5 litre. A huge crowd here at Alton Park today, thoroughly enjoying this magnificent race between the two flying red Capris. Into the closing stages of this race, and it's still Gordon Spice leading through the very slow right-hander at Foster's, then through the famous Knickerbrook here at Alton Park, up over Clay Hill, down to the long right-hander at Druids, and then to Lodge Corner to the closing stages of this circuit and the race, and it's a race win, a 1-2 for Gordon Spice Racing.
There were no team orders again today. We took it easy in the middle, but the last 500 were free.
That's nice, because we were speculating about that. We thought that it was going to be a dash for the line, and there was a time when I think he actually touched you going through Knickerbrook.
Could be. He's never very far away, that's for sure.
Tell me something, isn't this going to present difficulties for you at the end of the year if you two are going to be battling it out? And I must say that from a spectator's point of view, it's great motor racing, but might it not cause you to lose the championship with fastest lap points and things?
Well, the winner of the Saloon Car Championship hasn't come from the big class for a long time, and I don't think, even if we were driving to orders, there's very little chance of the big class having an overall win in the championship.
Well, I'm sure you're doing your very best to do it, but you'll be delighted to know that you've got a new lap record today, a class lap record at 68.29 seconds.
Well, that's good. I'm pleased about that.
Congratulations, Gordon Spice, and congratulations also to...
So they've done it again, and Gordon Spice Racing takes a 1-2 victory. However, the Triple-X Rover 3.5 litre cars are beginning to look more competitive, and there will be no relaxation as the teams turn their attention to Thruxton on Bank Holiday Monday of this very busy Easter weekend. Following practice at the Hampshire circuit, Gordon Spice is in pole position, Andy Rouse is in the middle of the front row, and Vince Woodman on the outside. Gordon Spice is in a very relaxed mood, as he has a few rude words for our cameraman.
Didn't know.
Try ski horrible Arabian view. You go.
What? What did you say? I just want this.
Are you on sound?
Yes.
Yes, Video Vision is a cosmopolitan outfit, but now to more serious things as we look at the grid once more. Leading the up to 1600 category is Richard Longman in the Data Post Ford Fiesta. Richard Longman is the reigning Saloon Car Champion of 1979. Alongside him is Alan Kernow, also in a Data Post Fiesta. Competition in all 4 classes in the Tricentral Championship is intense. The presence of Sterling Moss in his Audi 80 adds a lot of interest to the Tricentral Championship of 1980. Sterling's in a very thoughtful mood as he prepares for the start of the race. A huge field is assembled on the grid as we wait for the cars to go. And there they go with Vince Woodman getting a very fine start, getting ahead, and there's a tremendous coming together between Holman Blackburn and the two Rover 3.5 litres as they go into the first right-hander at Allard's. On down into the complex for the first time, and it's Vince Woodman leading, but see how hard Gordon Spice is working already, and there's another coming together between Holman Blackburn and Jeff Allen in the Rover 3.5 litre. The rest of the field go through the complex. At the end of lap 1, it's Vince Woodman leading from Gordon Spice, then Andy Rouse in 3rd place. Holman Blackburn in 4th, but I can see Jeff Allen pulling out in the Rover 3.5 litre to move ahead of Holman Blackburn. The Rover very much more competitive in this race. And now into the lead is Gordon Spice, ahead of Andy Rouse, and down into third place goes Vince Woodman. Andy Rouse, as he goes through in second place, has obviously had a coming together with somebody because his bumper is hanging off. And as the cars come through to start another lap, it's Gordon Spice leading from Andy Rouse in second place and Vince Woodman in third. An absorbing battle between these three Capris as they go down to the complex once more. In the 1600 class, a tremendous battle between Chris Hodgetts and John Morris in the Sirocco. Once again, back with the leaders, and it's Gordon Spice still managing to hang on to a lead from Andy Rouse, but we see once again that there are no team orders between the two Gordon Spice racing cars, and there coming off at the complex is Charles Sawyer Hoare in a Capri. It looks as though his race is over, but there's a tremendous battle going on between Holman Blackburn, the two 3.5 litre Rovers, and Win Percy in the Mazda. Charles Sawyer Hoare leaves his car, as well he should. Back with the leaders, it's Gordon Spice leading. Second place is Andy Rouse, and third is Vince Woodman. The three still very close together as they go through the right-hander and down towards the complex once more. Spice leading, Rouse putting him under pressure again as they come across the line, and it's Gordon Spice from Andy Rouse. Rouse looking as though he was poised to make an overtaking manoeuvre. This is a very exciting race, and there is Jeff Allen ahead of Holman Blackburn, and then Rex Greenslade going through. Win Percy in the Mazda is poised right behind them. Into the lead goes Andy Rouse on full opposite locks. He slides the car out of the chicane. At the completion of one more lap, Andy Rouse leading Gordon Spice, and once again we see that team orders don't matter here. Through the chicane once more, and now it's Spice back into the lead. What does Andy Rouse have to do to win this race? Now Holman Blackburn coming through the chicane, and see the Rovers battling it out, curb hopping here as Rex Greenslade goes through ahead of Jeff Allen, and Win Percy in the Mazda is trying to get through. Now the red Capris, it's Gordon Spice still ahead of Andy Rouse, and as the Colt hatchback goes through, there in third place is Vince Woodman, Holman Blackburn fourth, and then this tremendous battle between the two 3.5 litre Rovers, which Rex Greenslade is having the better of at the moment. There on two wheels is Derek Brunt, followed by one of the Akai cars, and there goes Richard Lloyd, so it must have been Sterling Moss up ahead of his teammate. There is Alan Kerno in the Data Post Fiesta. Headlights blaze as Andy Rouse goes through in the lead now from his teammate Gordon Spice. There's absolutely no knowing which one of these two is going to come through in the lead in this race. As the spectacular Colt hatchback goes through just ahead of the leaders, it's Andy Rouse this time, still leading from Gordon Spice. Holman Blackburn goes through in fourth place, still just ahead of the Rover 3.5 litre of Rex Greenslade. There is Jeff Allen under tremendous pressure from the Mazda RX-7 of Win Percy, and Allen has to work very hard to keep on the road. Andy Rouse into the chicane once more, still hounded by Gordon Spice. This really is the most magnificent motor race between these two. Excitement all the way down the field as Win Percy goes through the chicane. In fact, he literally takes off at the exit of the chicane, but still manages to stay ahead of Jeff Allen. Once again the leaders, and this time it's still Andy Rouse leading from Gordon Spice, but they are so close together and working hard at their craft. Sliding the car on the exit there is Andy Rouse, determined to win this race and pick up maximum points. Now back with the Rovers. This time it's Rex Greenslade who's under pressure from Win Percy, and right in behind him is Jeff Allen. So these three are still battling it out as they go through the chicane once more. Opposite lock still being applied, and now back with the leaders. It's still Andy Rouse, you can see from the bent bumper at the back, but Gordon Spice right in there looking for an opportunity to get past as they start yet another lap. Braking hard now down into the chicane, and it's Win Percy in the Mazda. He's ahead of both the Rovers now. See the opposite lock and the curb hopping that goes on as they battle for position, but it's Win Percy just ahead of Rex Greenslade and Jeff Allen. Into the closing stages come the leaders. Andy Rouse leading teammate Gordon Spice. Into their final two laps now go the leaders. And now here comes Gordon Spice, and he's in the lead. Where is Andy Rouse? There is Derek Brunt. And it would appear that Andy Rouse has had a coming together with Derek Brunt, and he's sustained a puncture, so into the pits he goes. But he's going to come out and try to finish as high up the field as possible. There in second place is Vince Woodman. And now coming up to take the checkered flag is Gordon Spice. Winner once more in the Tricentrol Championship of 1980. Gordon Spice will be well pleased with that victory. Second was Vince Woodman in a Capri. Third, Win Percy in a Mazda RX-7. Fourth, Rex Greenslade in a Rover. Fifth, his teammate Jeff Allen. And sixth, Andy Rouse in the Gordon Spice Racing Capri. The record states 3 races and 3 wins for Gordon Spice Racing, but that does not tell the story of the exciting racing that is developing in the Tricentral British Saloon Car Championship, or of the tremendous personal tussle going on between Gordon Spice and Andy Rouse. Round 4 of the championship moves to Silverstone, and still in pole position it's Gordon Spice's car. Alongside him, however, is Rex Greenslade in the Triplex SO 3.5 litre Rover, the first time we've seen the Rover on the front row of the grid. Vince Woodman makes up the front row, and we look back to the inside of the second row of the grid to Andy Rouse, a position which he won't tolerate for very long. On the outside of Andy Rouse is the second of the Rovers, and it's Jeff Allen. So the Rovers obviously demonstrating that they're much quicker in practice. A full grid for the start of this 4th round of the Tricentral Championship. We wait now as the engines build up at the start of the race. Who's it going to be? Off the line, Gordon Spice, then alongside him Rex Greenslade, and on the outside Vince Woodman. We wait for the lights to change. There they go, and it's a very good start for Gordon Spice, and Vince Woodman goes with him. Andy Rouse is going well, but see, the 2 Rovers are also there. In fact, how can all these cars go through Copse on the first lap? It really is very tight indeed, and a magnificent start to this race. Gordon Spice leads, and in second place it's Vince Woodman, but only just from Andy Rouse, and then the first of the Rovers. It really is tightly packed as they go through Stowe Corner for the first time. And as they come through the chicane at the end of lap 1, it's Vince Woodman leading from Gordon Spice, then Rex Greenslade, then Andy Rouse, and Jeff Allen in 5th place. These cars very tightly packed together as they go through Copse for the second time. Down Hanger Straight once more, and it's Gordon Spice leading, but he's under pressure from Rex Greenslade in the Rover in 2nd place, and Jeff Allen is in 3rd place. The 2 Rovers proving their competitiveness now as they go towards Club Corner. And now there's a tremendous roar from the crowd, because it's a Rover in the lead, and it's Rex Greenslade leading from Gordon Spice, and then Jeff Allen in 3rd place, and then Vince Woodman in 4th, under pressure from Andy Rouse, and then there really is a tremendous battle between the 6 leading cars. Once more down Hanger Straight, and this time the Rover appears to be pulling out. And can Jeff Allen be drawn through into 2nd place? He's doing tremendous battle with Andy Rouse, and there is Vince Woodman going through on the inside of Gordon Spice. What a cracking race this is. It's Greenslade leading from Andy Rouse, then in 3rd place Jeff Allen from Gordon Spice, and then Graham Good is up there ahead of Vince Woodman. A major battle going on for the lead, and now still just the Rover ahead of Andy Rouse. So Rex Greenslade leading a Tricentral Championship race for the first time this year. In 2nd place Andy Rouse, 3rd is Jeff Allen. They come round through the chicane, and Rouse is definitely closing on Rex Greenslade. See them through the chicane, up over the curbs, and now it's definitely Greenslade just hanging on from Andy Rouse in the Gordon Spice Racing Capri. Gordon Spice has not given up. In 4th place, he's still doing battle with Jeff Allen, but as they come down towards Stowe, it's Greenslade only just holding off a challenge from Andy Rouse in the Spice Capri. Through the right-hander and along towards Club, with still Spice doing battle for 4th place. Into the chicane once more, and Andy Rouse is up into the lead. He's taken the Rover, so Rex Greenslade is in 2nd place as they go out towards Copse once more, and Gordon Spice is up into 3rd place, ahead of Jeff Allen. This really is a tremendous battle between the Capris and the Rovers. Rouse from Greenslade, then a small gap before we see Spice. Andy Rouse leading through the chicane, just ahead of Rex Greenslade, then Gordon Spice in 3rd place, but it's a real tussle between these 2 marks. Rouse uses all the road on the exit of Woodcote, and Greenslade is making him, that's for sure. And as they come down Hanger Straight, Rouse has got his headlights blazing, and Greenslade is trying to go round the outside as they go into Stowe. He has to tuck in behind, though. Rouse is not giving way. Andy Rouse and the Capri lead into the chicane, chasing after the Talbot Avenger, which has to take to the grass to avoid the leaders as they go through. And it's Rex Greenslade really pressurising Andy Rouse, but Gordon Spice is in there in 3rd place, building up a little bit of an interval over Jeff Allen. See the Colt hatchback, almost airborne as they go through the chicane. Now back at Hanger Straight, it's Andy Rouse, and this time Greenslade tries down the inside. He's going to get in, no he isn't. Oh, and there must have been a little bit of contact there, and it's Rouse who goes wide, and Greenslade who goes through into the lead. And I can see Spice doing battle for 2nd place, and now back at the chicane, it's Greenslade just beating Rouse to it, and there in 3rd place is Gordy Spice. What a wonderful race this is. Greenslade leads, and there's a battle for 2nd place between the 2 Gordon Spice Capris. There is David Morgan in the Colt hatchback, literally becoming airborne as he goes through the chicane. Back down at Hanger Straight and coming down into Stowe Corner, you can see that Andy Rouse is challenging. He's alongside Rex Greenslade as they move into the right-hander. And can Rouse go all the way round the outside? No, Greenslade is forcing him wide, and it's Greenslade in the Rover who manages to hang on to the lead just ahead, and literally only just ahead of Andy Rouse. And pulling off dramatically down on the circuit is Gordon Spice. His engine has finally given up. Another change for the lead, and this time it's Andy Rouse who takes Rex Greenslade, and Greenslade is in second place now in the SO Triplex Rover, swinging wide on the exit of Woodcote. Still Rouse in the lead, coming up to lap a back marker, but still there is his shadow, Rex Greenslade in the Rover in second place, dogging Andy Rouse in the Capri. Down once more, but this time it appears that Andy Rouse has opened something of an interval over Rex Greenslade. A mere 3 lengths maybe, but it's still quite an interval compared with what we've seen so far in this race. And there is Chris Hodgetts in the Toyota Celica, warding off a challenge there from the Audi 80. Once more with the leader, Andy Rouse, and this time as he exits the chicane, he seems to have built up even more of a lead over the Rover. Down into the chicane, and this is Chris Hodgetts under pressure from Richard Lloyd in the Audi 80. Hodgetts in the Toyota Celica, driving well, swinging wide at the end of Woodcote. Now back with the leader once more, and see how the back end is moving out as Andy Rouse controls the car through the chicane. In second place, Rex Greenslade in the Rover, and there's the red flag. The red flag is out, and that means the race has stopped. The crossed flags go out all the way around the circuit. The yellow flag crossed with the oil flag, and that means there's been an incident on the circuit, and the race is stopped. And there is Andy Rouse coming up to complete the final lap. A rare occurrence. Experienced Tony Lanfranchi in a Vauxhall Magnum rolls his car out at Club Corner and the race is cut short. But not before we have seen some amazing cut and thrust between the Rovers and the Capris, with once more a Gordon Spice racing Capri driven by Andy Rouse winning the Tricentrol Championship.